Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Korn album, the Serenity of Suffering. Korn, 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 Korn. Korn. What can be said now about the California nu metal, industrial metal, alternative metal outfit that has not been said already? Especially after embarrassingly bad releases like the Skrillex collaboration on the Path of Totality, or See You on the Other Side, and what even is Korn 3? Was there a trilogy going on that I just wasn't aware of this whole time? My feelings on the band have ranged from utter disgust to complete fandom back in the day when I was really into the band in high school, but then slowly over time becoming more disillusioned with nu metal and the band's increasingly mediocre discography. But even though I still really can't listen to a lot of Korn's early discography without wondering what the hell I was thinking, I tried my best at giving this album a listen and coming at it with a semi-objective opinion. I think I can say, without having to second-guess myself in any significant way down the road, that the Serenity of Suffering is one of Korn's better records, one of their best records in a while. It doesn't seem completely out of touch with what made the band popular in the first place, like a lot of their 2000s output was. Instrumentally, Korn brings plenty of crunchy slap bass lines on here, booming, heavy, distorted guitar chords that, of course, some of them are complemented with these eerie little 3 to 6 note guitar melodies that hang in the atmosphere of the verses and sound really creepy. Korn has been recycling these on every single album since like Follow the Leader. Jonathan Davis's growls are still pretty monstrous. Of course, he does his little, nu metal scatting that you have probably heard on many a Korn album thus far. Sure, there are a few risks the band takes that I think go a little awry, like when a dance beat kind of pops up in the background, or one moment where Jonathan Davis was like harmonizing a little bit with his voice, and it was not sounding good. But outside of that, I think this has been one of Korn's most solid releases since Issues. It's not like a high point in their discography or anything, but it's certainly more tolerable than a bulk of what has been dropped by the band in the past 10 years. And maybe this record is even a conscious effort to do that, given the cover art over here, which I still not have made complete heads or tails of. I mean, what is this? Is that the Issues doll in this kid's hand, and is it dead? Is that why I see its ribcage? Is it a ghost? Is that why there's an ominous glow around it? And why is this ominous glow surrounding the person holding the doll as well? Is that person dead? Is this the ghost of a Korn fan? Is this a symbol for Korn's once thriving fan base that is now dwindling with every new album that disappoints again and again and again and again? On this album, I'm imagining Korn going on the Scooby-Doo style adventure through an abandoned carnival with a weird giraffe riding a rhino on the merry-go-round, and they're using their best album in years to resurrect their dead fan base, only for the whole adventure to end with this kid in a blue hoodie like waving goodbye to them like, "Bye-bye, I had a good time, guys, I love you." Still though, I think Korn has a decent set of songs on their hands here, but I can't ignore the fact that in a lot of ways I think I've grown out of what the band is providing sonically, musically, lyrically, and pretty much every track on here has a little something that makes me just scream internally, like the record scratching on the intro track, Insane. Of course you're getting that over those huge booming alt metal riffs. Record scratching also turns up on the song next in line, but that track has some really odd verses with these skipping snare drums and these very quickly strummed guitars that make kind of a droney sound. It's maybe one of the most experimental things I've think Korn has done on a track, but it didn't exactly turn out all that well, I don't think. Then we have Corey Taylor of Slipknot doing a guest vocal on the song A Different World. One moment his voice even reminds me of David Dramian of Disturbed for some reason, and it's really, again, not a high point for me. The song Take Me is weirdly funky for some reason. The beat in the background, like with the hi-hat playing off the bass drum, it's I don't know, I just don't want to hear Korn sounding too funky. The weird robot vocal effects on Everything Falls Apart are not really that aesthetically pleasing either. And the refrain at the very end of the track, there is nothing in my head, there is nothing in my head, there is nothing in my head, there is nothing. Yeah, I wanted to skip that part pretty bad. And the angsty, tortured guitar and vocal intro, so bare, so skeletal. On the intro of the song The Hating, there are a lot of tasteless ideas on this thing, but to Korn's credit, this is probably how the world sounds to somebody who's crazy or has, like, I don't know, some severely damaged emotions that they just can't seem to work out. You may not personally identify with the band's downward spiral of pain and sadness that they display on pretty much every record, but I think on this one they do a pretty effective job of conveying it. And I was able to find a couple of songs on this thing that I thought were acceptable, you know, nothing I really loved from front to back, nothing I was crazy head over heels for, but it's pretty far from the worst thing that they've ever dropped, and at this point, maybe that's all we can really hope for. I'm feeling a strong 4 to a light 5 on this one. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe, and please don't cry. Just leave an angry comment if you feel like it. And all sorts of links next to my head, other videos, subscription, website. Click on one. Forever.